Hi guys, so long time no see. I've been really busy lately trying to finish the first half of my thesis, which is a novel and is sort of terrible right now, so I don't actually want to talk about it too much. But the other thing that I've been doing is reading this book for a class. Yes, this book. I just finished it last week and I decided I would give myself a little breathing time before I made this video reviewing it. I have to tell you that whenever I finished this book, my first reaction was a little bit like this. Freedom! Woo! Because there's just something kind of great about finishing a novel that's like 1,000 plus pages long and has teeny tiny footnotes for like 100 pages. Can you see this? This is teeny tiny text. So if somebody were to ask me what the plot of this book was, I would say something about tennis and drug addicts and how the two somehow are made to be very similar. Or I'd say something about entertainment and the way that it affects Americans and Canadians, and I'd talk about, you know, a dystopian literature kind of a thing. Something realistic but surrealistic at the same time. In other words, this book is not something that's easily summed up. Which, if you talk to anybody who's been in a creative writing program, they will tell you is a mark of a work of art. Because this book talks about its ideas better than I ever could. My ultimate review for this is to tell you that if you like books that tie up really well, or that have nice happy endings, or that leave you with feeling some kind of conclusion, then maybe this isn't the book for you. We talked about it in our last class that the ending was sort of like an Infinite Jest. Because basically what you want to do as soon as you finish the ending is go back and read the beginning again to figure out if maybe you missed something and to find all the little connections that are going to make the ending make more concrete sense. I'm sure that wasn't an accident. It's definitely a guaranteed way to make it to a reader who has made it through this massive book will want to reread it. However, I can tell you that as of right now, I do not want to reread it. I'm sure it was a really great tactic on his part to send you kind of back to the beginning and to make things not tie up as well as a lot of stories do. It makes it really intriguing. It means that the reader still has some option in exactly how events went down and how characters overlap, and that's really cool. I love open endings like that. But this book is a lot to take in at once. It's a lot. I've been reading this book since January, and I feel like I need a break. And when you're reading it, you can't read more than like 10 pages at a time because your brain just starts to hurt trying to make all of the connections and trying to overlap all of the themes, and it gets scary. This is probably because it's all one big long narrative. David Foster Wallace decided he was going to break it up into sections and then break up those sections into like chunks that go together with like a little moon. It's like a little circle shape. It's real cute. But that's it. You don't get chapter breaks in this. And you have to jump to the endnotes a lot, which is supposed to be like mimicking the whole like playing tennis thing, you know, it's like a game, you have to like and bounce, and bounce. That being said, if you get down to his sentence level, David Foster Wallace is very talented. All of his sentences are very well constructed. There are certain words he uses over and over again, like the word fantods, which I think might be my new favorite word, that just make me laugh every time I see them, and he does that on purpose. Sort of like John Green did in his newest book, he balances some pretty graphic, heavy, depressing things with his characteristic humor. And he does it very well. So that's good. Right, so bottom line, in the end, Infinite Jest is very well written. Craft-wise, there's a lot to take from this book. And it's very interesting, there are good characters, it's interesting situations, it's funny, it's sad, it's a little violent, it's pretty great for all intents and purposes. I definitely recommend you read it, but don't try to read it all at once. Read it as you're reading something else so that you're not constantly worrying over thinking about this book, and try to make sure you're going to read it over a longer period of time. I think trying to sit down and be like, I'm going to read this 1,000-page novel in a month with this book would drive you absolutely crazy. Or rather, it would drive me crazy. So, there's that. I also read some of David Foster Wallace's nonfiction this past few months, and it was really funny. I definitely recommend it. And a lot of it, again, is long. This guy tends to write a lot. But it's good. So, all in all, David Foster Wallace, 2 thumbs. And a little bit of a headache. Before I forget, my ukulele finally came in. Meet Winston Happingale. It's very pretty. Hopefully I'll actually do something with this. I can already play a few notes. See you later. Get it? It's too early to make those puns, isn't it? Bye! "99 red balloons floating in a summer sky. Panic bells, it's red alert. There's something here from somewhere else. Da 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 da